Fellow INFJ, do you long for meaning? Most of us do. We want to know that we're making a difference in people's lives, directly in individuals' lives, and indirectly for the betterment of the whole world. I can't stand the idea of doing work that just pays the bills. I want to positively influence others, inspire them to reach their potential, and do it in an original, authentic way. I'm guessing that you want to make a difference with your life too, and that you really want it to be meaningful on a deep level. But why is that? That's the question we're going to answer on today's show. Before we jump into 4 reasons why meaning is so important to you as an INFJ, I want to let you know about a free gift I have for you called the INFJ Personality Guide. I wrote this guide because discovering that I was an INFJ made a big difference in my life. I learned that I wasn't stupid or messed up, but that I was just different and that I had unique and important gifts to offer the world. I also learned how I could develop and put those gifts to use, as well as how I could design a life that was better suited to me, especially since I was so different than most of the people around me. I want you to experience the same joy and freedom that I did when I learned that I was an INFJ and started to understand the way my mind worked and how I could put my gifts to use and design a life that better fit my unique personality. You can grab a copy of this free ebook by texting the word INFJ to 444-999 or visit ispeakpeople.com/INFJ-personality-guide. Grab your free copy while they're still available. Perhaps the number one reason why you as an INFJ long for meaning is because you're wired for it. Your primary mindset is something called introverted intuition. And introverted intuition is all about depth. It wants to understand why, and it takes an interest in a few subjects and tries to understand them really well. It makes connections easily and it interprets symbols really well. But in essence, it tries to make sense of the world and understand why, compared with extroverted intuition, which like an ENFP or an INFP would put to use, which multiplies possibilities. Introverted intuition dives really deep and tries to understand the core of something. So a really big reason why you long for meaning is because you are a dominant intuitive who primarily wants to understand the way the world works and understand why. I just experienced this tonight. I was thinking of ideas and I had an idea for my wife who likes to sew about a class that she could run, and I was encouraging her to pursue that. And I asked her why she was dragging her feet, and she told me, and by the way, she's an ISTJ, she told me, well, it's because, we need to buy a car because ours died, and we need to put curtains on the windows because we just moved to a new house, and we need to change our address, on our mailing information, on our credit card. She was thinking of all these sensory details, which were important that we needed to take care of, and I'd completely forgotten about that because I was thinking about things like what was motivating the people around me and how could she develop this business and do something that she really cared about, that she was passionate about. I wanted to get to deep, meaningful things, but I was doing it to the neglect of the sensory day-to-day life details around me. So a main reason many of us look for meaning and desire meaning is because we're wired that way, and it's what we tend to focus on. Your personality, like every personality, is dynamic, and INFJs combine something called extroverted feeling with introverted intuition. And when the two work together, they get synergistic effects. So the second point and second reason why you desire meaning is because you care about others deeply. Now, introverted intuition, which we already talked about a little bit, is more of a global mindset. It thinks about the here and now, but it also thinks about how everything is interconnected to some extent. So it can look off into the future, and it can also think about the implications for the world, for example. You also have this thing called extroverted feeling, which makes you desire group harmony, which makes you want to help others, makes you want to make them feel welcome and to include them in a group. It may even lead you to neglect or overlook your own needs so that you can meet the needs of others around you and so that you can preserve group harmony. You're just thinking in general about the good of others. Combine introverted intuition and extroverted feeling, and you get someone who wants to impact the world on a grand scheme, who may not be content just affecting a few people around them, but wants to make a bigger impact in the entire world, or at least in the larger community. To illustrate this point, think about an ISFJ. ISFJs also have extroverted feeling, but they're sensors, so they tend to focus on the here and now, and they're quite content to meet the needs of others around them in their community and the people where they work, the family members that they interact with most of the time. They're happy mostly meeting the needs of people that they can talk to in person. In contrast, INFJs think more grand scheme. And to support this point, I can just mention two names that I'm sure you know, which are Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi. Both are considered to have been INFJs. And why is that? Well, they had a vision for helping humanity at large. So they were thinking grand scheme, and they wanted to help people on a macro level. A third reason that you long for meaning is that you're an introvert. Unlike extroverts, introverts are very focused individuals. Extroverts tend to have interests in a variety of activities and to dabble in a bunch of things, whereas introverts focus on a few specific interests. And as a result, they focus deeply and intensely on those few specific interests. So an INFJ, for example, might be really interested in getting everyone in the family to get along, or in championing a nonprofit that they really care about. They would put a lot of time and attention into these particular interests that they care deeply about. Now compare that to an ENFJ. ENFJs and INFJs share all the same mindsets, but just in a different order. And ENFJs, being extroverts, tend to have more interest in more things that they're involved in because they gain energy from being with people, unlike INFJs who are introverts. So as a result, ENFJs are involved in a lot more than maybe INFJs are. And if one of those things that they're invested in would happen to go wrong, it would be disappointing, but maybe not on the same level that it would be for an INFJ who would have fewer interests and who might be more vested in those few interests. You could liken it to having all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. Not that that's the case for INFJs, but it's that truth that maybe they have fewer things they're investing in, and if one of them isn't working out, it's really hard. So as an introvert, they care deeply about the particular few things that they've invested in. Finally, as an INFJ, you have a preference for judging, which means you like to make plans and you feel best when you accomplish those plans, when you reach your goals and when you close the loops. So while you have a big vision for how you can impact the world and how you can help other people, you probably won't be satisfied till you start to take steps of progress toward reaching that goal or toward making a difference in the world. And this too is in contrast to some other personality types like the INFP, for example, which shares that NF, which tends to make them desire to help people and to see possibilities for people. But unlike the INFP, that J in your personality type really drives you to get things done, to have a schedule, to be organized, and then to check things off your to-do list. So if your ideas are living in your head most of the time, your big schemes for helping others and for making a difference in the world, even if it maybe isn't helping people, INFJs have a variety of interests, and I should have mentioned that earlier, but whatever your way of impacting the world positively is, you really desire to get it accomplished. And if it's just living in your head and you're not taking action on it, you're going to be dissatisfied to some extent because you long to get that done and you have a desire to take action in a meaningful way. It's also challenging as an introvert, which I mentioned earlier, because your best work is what you do come up with in your head. It's the insights, the visions, and the connections that you make that come to you naturally and easily. But sometimes taking action on it is the hardest part because it's not your greatest strength. It's something that you can develop, but it takes time and it comes later in life. So you have to work at it to really take action. But this is the key to personal growth. And this is the key to enjoying the benefits of action and seeing some of that meaning that's in your mind come to fruition and become a reality. Thanks for watching this video today. I hope that you found it helpful. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to do that because I'll be producing new videos each week to help you on your journey as an INFJ and to encourage you to fulfill your potential and understand yourself better and to live a life that you're really and truly excited about. And I just wanted to say thanks to all of you who have either dropped a comment below or who have emailed me or gotten in touch some other way. It's really encouraged me and meant a lot to me. So thank you so much for your kindness and just for getting in touch. And I also wanted to say that if you have any questions or suggestions for future topics to cover, I'd love to hear those. Just again, you can email me at bo_miller@ispeakpeople.com, or you can just drop your comment or thoughts below and I will check them out and try to focus on those videos in the upcoming weeks. So hope that you found this helpful and thanks again for watching.